Hello, dear friends. Insta philosophy teaches that there are many paths to reach the absolute, unlike excluding religions that claims to have a monopoly on truth. Opinion piece. End of a global cycle. Joy of the new. Crisis of adaptation. Darkness wants war. Sequence of completion. Universal law is coming. Transition to a new dimension. Dissolution of limiting structures. Let's start. An end of a world cycle refers to the conclusion of a stage characterized by setting rules, trends, political, economic, or social paradigms, and the beginning of a profound transformation on a planetary level. It doesn't mean the end of the world, but rather a systemic renewal where another stage begins, often unpredictable and marked by a crisis of adaptation. According to Sierra, leaving the past completely behind is immensely liberating. It's like taking off a heavy winter coat when the temperature suddenly rises. Everything feels light and easy, and often very pleasant. The eclipse in Pisces and the retrograde Uranus in Gemini mark the end of personal and planetary cycles that provoke a mental readjustment, promoting liberation, ascension, and self-mastery. The pain of letting go of the familiar is combined with the joy of the new, and the key is to accept change and be true to one's essence, according to Natalia Abla. Two factions. What is developing on Earth are two factions, according to James Gilliland. One seeks population reduction, absolute power and control. They are controlled by unseen negative influences, along with their morally impaired human puppets. As an example of this, some UN member states are negotiating a new draft of their failed 2030 agenda. This plan combines censorship, digital surveillance, radical ideology, and top-down management without asking for your consent, once the organization citizens go. The other group seeks universal peace, brotherly love, individual freedom, and prosperity for all. The Earth is ascending, and higher dimensional beings are pushing to assist in this process. Negative timelines are collapsing, and time faults are occurring to help us overcome these difficult times. Universal law is arriving. Ascension. The planet is ascending. The massive influx of higher consciousness and energies is unstoppable. It is raising the frequency of humanity and the Earth. The origin of awakening and healing energies comes through the suns, all connected to the central sun, what some call the house of the Absolute, the real God, who is the source of great awakening, healing energies, and anchoring in universal law. Mass eruptions, coronal mass ejections, and solar storms are creating chaos, which is part of the healing process. This influx of higher consciousness and energy is affecting the bioelectrical field of all life, generating changes that reach down to our DNA. It also produces severe weather conditions and an increase in earthquakes and volcanic activity. Challenges. This has been a year of completion, integration, and realization, moments of letting go of the old and discovering one's authentic essence. The transition to a new dimension brings challenges as it involves letting go of fragments, relationships, habits, and personal aspects that no longer resonate with the new frequency. This moment is seen as an opportunity for transcendence, physical ascension, and reconnection with DNA, inviting one to break free for the past and assume personal sovereignty. The darkness wants war, and has tried everything to instigate this, according to Kesharas. The world is rife with challenges due to the frequency shift, and many operate secretly with evil intentions, seeking to divide humanity and sow chaos. Their goal is not peace, but more conflict. Don't give them what they want. The greatest defense against those who wish to harm humanity is a people who refuse to fight each other. Choose peace. The world is transforming, but it will not succumb unlike past civilizations, according to Kesharas. The forces that feed on separation cannot be at the awakening of millions of beings. What was once destroyed by the abuse of power is now being healed through a global decision to live in compassion, truth, and harmony. The earth itself is ascending, and humanity is rising with it. Do not fear the shaking of all the structures as they dissolve. These are not signs of collapse, but of a release and revelation of the new. Be alert, says Kesharas. Your field is synchronizing with higher frequency bands. A major timeline shift is underway. Limiting structures are dissolving. Collective resonance is rising. Cosmic support is increasing. The closest point to ascension in human history has been reached. Express the light of your soul. Maintain alignment. The completion sequence is active. According to Mira, through Valerie Donner, the foundations for ascension are solid. They are being watched over by very powerful beings. Everything must be precise, with every detail established. We also have emergency teams on standby, just in case they are needed. What is happening right now is a huge event. It is precise, and timing is of the utmost importance. Rescue. Juan Osabin predicts a reset of the global financial system, denounces conspiracies and transnational corruption, announces the emergence of regulated crypto infrastructures, and reiterates the vision of a divine war between the elite and the people. He exposes fiat money as a debt cartel designed to manipulate nations, and predicts an immense transition to sound money backed by precious metals and maximum quantum transparency. Osabin considers the rescue and restructuring of the system unavoidable, because the process is divinely guided to restore citizen sovereignty. In his view, a change would occur before Christmas, with the revelation of information about corruption and a new cryptographic infrastructure. He also highlights the manipulation of the price of gold and silver by national treasuries, and predicts a global revaluation and restructuring of backed currencies. Mission. Ismael Perez highlights the mission of the coalition and the Space Force to free humanity from the control of the dark side, and an artificial intelligence infiltrating global structures, combining themes of geopolitics, galactic prophecies, and the arrival of the new Earth. He also reveals that multidimensional entities collaborate with the coalition using advanced technology and interdimensional tactics to dismantle the control networks in underground bases, orbital platforms, and quantum communication nodes. He reveals that the forces of good are combining the influence of the dark side and an artificial intelligence that controls global finance, surveillance, and armed systems. It also mentions collaboration with beings from higher planes who guide humanity's natural evolution, protecting and elevating positive timelines. He addresses the idea of a cosmic and geopolitical battle aimed at activating human DNA, facilitating ascension, and preparing humanity for the solar flare and the new Earth. Quantum revolution. According to Media Greer, a ray of hope emerges in a world shaken by anxiety and economic turmoil, promising a return to simpler times. Welcome to a trip back to 1955, where affordable prices reigned and the American dream was within everyone's reach. In the shadows of secrecy, a treasure trove of knowledge lies waiting to be unearthed. Quantum and suppressed technologies invite us to a future beyond the limits of conventional wisdom. From the depths of clandestine laboratories to the forefront of innovation, we stand on the threshold of a new frontier, where the laws of physics are being bent to our will and the limits of what is possible are being redefined. In an era of incredible technological advancement, the world is on the cusp of a paradigm shift that will transform our lives forever. The power of quantum technology is infiltrating every facet of our existence. Quantum financial systems, quantum voting systems, quantum healing, and the quantum internet. Embrace the quantum revolution, because it's here to stay. It's time for a world where power is in the hands of the people, where transparency is the norm, and where the quantum Gisara becomes the cornerstone of our collective future. The countdown has begun, and the world will never be the same. Fulford summary. According to Benjamin Fulford, it has been initiated an action against Microsoft with the interruption of the submarine cables that sent information to China. This news is also related to a series of cuts in the Red Sea submarine cable that has degraded internet connectivity in several countries, including India and Pakistan. This came after India's major refinery refrained from buying US oil in its latest tender. India also suspended the purchase of weapons, aircraft, and other products in response to the tariffs. In his view, the White Hats are close to bringing about regime change in the UK, France, Germany, Canada, and other countries. France faces the possibility of having its fifth prime minister in less than 2 years, an economic crisis, and the threat of renewed civil unrest if the parliamentary impasse is not resolved in the coming days. Macron wants to start a war to avoid losing power and going to jail. The German economy shrank 4.5% in real terms last year, while France and other countries are facing similar problems. They simply don't have enough money to contribute to the US. In fact, Europe has reportedly already reached a secret trade agreement with Russia, forced by economic constraints. As part of this agreement, Ukraine would be divided between Poland, Romania, Hungary, and Russia. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.